Yo, what is going on, y'all? It's your boy HD MMA back at it again with another video. Today we're going over my picks and predictions for UFC Fight Night Houston, Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez. I'm going to be going over the entire card, every fight, starting with the first fight on the prelims and moving on to that main event of that evening. I'm not trying to waste a lot of time here. It's really fucking late at night, and I gotta be up early to go out of town tomorrow. So yeah, I'm not gonna be doing a fight companion for this card because I'm gonna be out of town. And yeah, let's just get straight to it. Starting off with the first fight of the early prelims, and also I'm probably gonna have my reaction and breakdown to this card probably at the best late Sunday, like up late in the night of Sunday, or early Monday, because that's when I'm gonna be coming back home. So yeah. Starting with this first fight though, Juliana Miller versus Carly Judice. I'm going with Carly Judice in this one by a second round TKO. She's just an overall way better striker, way more technical, knows where to hit opponents, know when she's got people hurt, knows how to go to the body very well. She ended her last fight with a knee to the body in the first round, in the third round, with the girl she was fighting. So yeah, she's just a way better striker. Also, it's open stance too, which opens up the rear kick for Carly Judice as well. I think she's gonna use that in this fight, and I think she's overall just gonna piece up Juliana Miller for the entirety of the fight. Miller, she's doesn't really have that much prowess on the feet. She has some submission skills, but has a hard time taking it to the ground when she fights a competent opponent. And I think Carly Judice is a competent enough opponent in the grappling in order to thwart any takedown attempts or ground exchanges that Miller might try to throw at her, and just keep her on the feet, piece her up there, pick the shots, find the shots on Miller, and yeah, be able to put her down in the second round. Probably with a knee in the clinch, a step in knee, or maybe just like a kick or a punch. Really, whatever she wants with the striking. So I'm going with Carly Judice in this one. I don't think there's gonna be I don't think there's any much leeway to sway either in the side of Miller. So yeah, I think it's pretty clear in this one. Moving on, we got Jordan Levitt versus Yadier Del Val. I'm going with Del Val in this one. I'm going with Del Val by a second round submission. I know he's coming off that fucking horrendous betting scandal with Bulgarian in his last fight. But I think Jordan Levitt, he's there to be exploited, and the openings are there for a guy like Del Val to capitalize on. Both guys primarily use their grappling to win fights. But Levitt, he's a bit more lacking in the stand-up. He really only throws, he keeps a very like high guard with like a Muay Thai stance, and he really only throws like front kicks and stuff like that. He doesn't have much in the hands in the boxing, whereas I think Del Val is a bit more physically imposing, and he has more boxing technique and uses it more than Levitt does with his striking. And I think Levitt, if he shoots in on Yadier Del Val, I think Del Val has better submission skills, and Levitt, his neck is always there whenever he shoots in to be wrapped up by a guillotine or whatever, or just there to be reversed. Levitt, he has a very hard time controlling his opponents and actually establishing dominant position on guys when he gets them down. And I think Del Val, he has the physicality. Levitt, he also has some physicality too. He's like sneaky strong. He has like a very like sneaky sleeper build to him. He does like often hoist guys up onto his shoulders and dunks them whenever he takes them down. But I think Del Val is going to be is gonna have physicality to match that, and plus a little bit more to scramble out of positions, take advantage of the openings with that Levitt gives with his neck, be able to scramble out, be able to just not be controllable for Levitt, and be able to reverse position, get to mount, get to the back, and thinking a rear naked choke. That's how I see it. I see Levitt taken down, giving up his neck, being vulnerable. Devell able to scrand it, maybe use a guillotine to sweep Levitt, get to mount and make Levitt give up his back. Yadier Devell, he also has some good ground and pound, and he's very once he gets guys into a dominant position, when he gets the back or something like that, he's very hard for guys to shake off. So I see Levitt not being able to shake off a guy like Val in the back take in that sort of situation, and Del Val being able to get a rear naked choke or something like that in that situation. So I'm going with Del Val by second round sub. Moving on, we got Phil Rowe versus Jean Paul. Fuck, I literally looked up how to pronounce this guy's name and it's fucking blanking on me. It's fucking Labozniani. Fuck, man. I literally looked it up how to fucking pronounce this guy's name and it fucking blanked right there. Jesus Christ. Moving on. We got Phil Rowe versus John Paul Labozniani. I got Labozniani over here by fucking whatever the fuck his name is, by first round KO. I think Phil Rowe, he's long, he's tall for the division, but he starts way too slow, and Les Boyani is a super fast, super explosive a guy for the weight class. He has very good finishing instincts, very good power, very good hand speed, very good speed with all of his strikes. Very good jab lead head kick combo. That's a combo you do not see every day, and he does that very well. That's how he won the Contender Series. Hit a guy with that jab, flicked up that lead head kick on the guy, rocked him, and then put him down with the right hand. And I see him doing something similar to Phil Rowe here in the first round. Phil Rowe, like I said, he starts too slow. He's very hittable. He doesn't really move his head a lot. Phil Rowe does. It does just kind of stand in front of you for like the first round and a half of the fight, and then if you let him build into the fight, he will start to build back up and like start to put it on you and TKO you. That's how he really gets his finishes in fights. But if there's a guy that can sort of get on him in the first like minute or establish some type of dominance or some type of striking like pace or rhythm that he can't break in the first minute, he usually does just lose to that. And I see a guy like Labozniani over here being way too fast for Phil Rowe in the first, way too explosive, way too quick, way too technical, and being able to catch Phil Rowe here with that same jab like lead head kick, being able to rock Phil Rowe. Phil Rowe, he got rocked by Ange Lusa, who hits like a fucking squeaky toy with no arm. So yeah, I see Les Boyani being way too powerful and fast for Phil Rowe, and being able to catch him with something early and put him down fairly quickly. So I'm going with Jean Paul Labozniani over here by first round TKO or KO. Moving on, we got Ramiz Brahimaj versus Punahele Soriano. I got a Brahimaj over here by a second round sub. I think both guys have a sort of similar style, both like stocky, powerful guys at welterweight, but I think Brahimaj has more technical boxing, and he puts together combinations way better than Soriano. Soriano, he just kind of explodes into you with like big looping shots, sort of like a fucking fuck, why am I blank? Alonzo Manyfield, that kind of like sort of style where he'll just like stand in front of you and just wait and then blitz at you with some leaping overhands. I see Brahimaj being able to defend that and put on like technical combinations of his own with better boxing, and I see in the grappling, I see Soriano shooting in on Brahimaj and Brahimaj locking up a guillotine. Um, as as much as like guillotines have like sort of died down and not really have lost their effectiveness in MMA over the years, especially now, Brahimaj has a really good guillotine, and he's really good at latching guys up in there. That's how he won his last fight against Austin Vanderford, who does have like a bit of an older style. He's a bit of an older style of fighter. But I do see the techniques of Brahimaj with the guillotine and the aggressive boxing that he has and the aggressive sort of pressure that he has that he can put on guys. And Soriano as well. He does gas out in as the fight goes on. And he does also rely on his high guard a lot. And I see Brahimaj being able to exploit that as well. He ends his combinations with kicks very well. He does that a lot. That's how he caught Austin Vanderford in the second round, I believe, as well. With throwing a combination and ending it with a high kick. And I see him being able to do that against Soriano here. So yeah, I see Brahimaj laying a combo on Soriano, hurting him. Soriano sort of shooting in panically with a panic shot. Brahimaj wraps up a guillotine or something like that and makes Soriano tap. So yeah, going with Ramiz Brahimaj. Moving on, we got Nora Cornola versus Jocelyn Edwards. I'm going with Nora Cornola versus by unanimous decision. First off, I want to give a disclaimer for this fight. These two have already fought each other in the UFC, and they were both unranked bantamweights, unranked women's bantamweights at that time, and they're fighting each other tomorrow, and they're both still unranked women's bantamweights. How fucking shit is this division where you have two unranked fighters that have already fought each other in the past are still here and they have to fight each other again on the prelims of this fucking fight night card. Holy, but yeah, I got Nora here by unanimous decision. I think she can just do what she did in the first fight. Jocelyn Edwards, she really is just like sort of just shitty boxing with a little bit of power Edwards has, and that's really kind of it. She'll shoot a takedown here and there, but she really that's all she really has is some power in her hands, some shitty boxing, and she has some like blockheadedness here and there. But I think Cornolo can be a fucking can be more technical. Use that Muay Thai she has. Get knees in the clinch, elbows in the clinch, chop at her with low kicks. Edwards, she does have a very wide stance and she does plot forward a bit. So I think Cornolo here can chop low kicks at her. Maybe change levels with those kicks, throw them up to the body and to the head. Move around, be more, have more footwork, not brawl with Edwards. I think that's the last thing Cornola wants to do here is try and brawl with Edwards, because I do think Edwards has more power, but overall, if she can just move out on the outside, land knees and elbows in the clinch whenever there's a clinch exchange, chop at her with low kicks, just be more technical in the boxing as well. Throw straight shots when Edwards is trying to go throw looping, and just out point her and out technique her. And I think that's the way Carnola wins over here. So I'm going with her. Moving on, we got Alden Correa versus Luis Gurul. I'm going with Correa here by a 3rd round TKO. Gurul, he's on a 2-fight losing streak, I believe. I trust the training of Correa here more, training with Joshua Van at 4 Ounce Fight Club, I believe it is, in Texas. He has good boxing. Correa does. He has good wrestling. Gurul here, he's just kind of like average everywhere. He will pressure forward and try and get at your face, but I think Correa here has the boxing offense skills, has the offensive boxing skills to alleviate the pressure, make Gurul pay whenever he tries to get in, try and close the distance and trying to corral him up into the cage. And I also think he can sort of out wrestle Gurul here with the takedowns. He's also way younger as well. I think he's way bigger, has the reach advantage, has the height advantage. I think it's gonna be Correa's fight to win in this matchup with Gurul here. I don't really see much danger out of Gurul anywhere in the aspects of MMA, and I see Correa here being able to build into the fight and sort of push a pace late, eventually break Gurul with some volume and sort of piece him up and put him out with like a long extended boxing combination. That's how I see it. So I'm going with Alden Correa here by a 3rd round TKO. I think he just volume punches his way to a finish in the 3rd round. Moving on, we gotta make sure I fucking lock in for this name pronunciation. We got Odi Osbourne versus Alibi Idairez. I'm pretty sure I fucked it up, but who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? I got Idairez by unanimous decision, by the way. I think they both have similar striking styles, but Idairez has better defense. At least he puts up his hands. Yeah, I'm saying that right. Jesus. Idairez puts up his hands way in the defense strikes, while Osbourne here doesn't do any of that. He sort of just will lean out of the way and step back out of the way and just leave his hands down out of just as his idle stance, and he gets caught with that a lot. Osbourne does have fixing my camera here. Osbourne does have good power, especially for this weight class. He does like hurt and drop pretty much everyone he fights. Dropped Steve Erceg, dropped I think Aslam Abayev, cut him. He does like damage a lot of people, but he doesn't really have like the sort of the power to really like stun them and like fucking and like have it lead to a finish. He'll drop you for like a split second, and then a lot of guys will get back up and continue on the fight and eventually like beat him. And I think that's what Idairez here can do. I think he can just land the shots where Ode's not guarding, and when Ode tries to land on Idairez here, he's like putting up his high guard and he's moving out of the way intelligently. And I think Idairez can do that here for the majority of the fight. I also think he can take down Osborne. I mean, Osborne, he's never been known for his grappling, and I think Adira's here since losing to fucking Joseph Morales on Tough, was it? I think he can, in that Tough finale, I think it was. I think he can sort of improve his like weakness there, which is the jiu-jitsu. And I think if it does go to the ground, I got Adira's here by a long shot. So I think Adira's here just has enough striking skill to beat Osborne and not get like clipped by anything badly to where he's gonna get fucking put out cold. And I think Osborne is not gonna have much advantage over him in this fight in many areas. He has a power advantage, I believe, and he also does have a reach advantage, but he doesn't really like keep the jab on guys and like really use it and use like the teep and that stuff. He doesn't really use a lot of long range weapons. Osborne, he really just kind of tries to counter you as you overextend, and he doesn't really do that the best. And I think Adira's here can just outstrike him and potentially outgrapple him as well. So I got Alibi Adira's here by unanimous decision. Moving on to the headliner of the prelims, we got Chidi Njokuani versus Carlos Leal. I'm going with Njokuani here by fucking what is it? Yeah, round 1 KO. Round 1 KO. Leal, he's just so open on the feet, and that is a weakness he's had in every fight, every one of his fights. With the Renat how do you say his name? Renat Fakhretdinov fight, whatever the fuck that guy's name was. Although I do think Leal won that fight, he was getting like tagged up by Fakhretdinov the entire fight. It was just Leal was just landing the more damaging shots, but it wasn't like Leal was like bobbing and weaving and fucking making Fakhretdinov look stupid out there on the feet. He was getting clipped as well. He was just landing the more effective shots, and I think against a guy like Kennedy Njokuani here, who has great Muay Thai and striking and can really pick you apart when it comes to the feet and the striking, and make you and counter you really hard and make you pay. I think a guy like Leal, who gets hit way too much, is gonna pay for that defensive mistakes and his shortcomings. I mean, he's also coming off that KO loss to Muslim Salikov, where he got clipped coming in, and I think Njokuani can do the same thing. I think he can do it with like a knee as Leal comes in, tries to pressure him with his hands down. I think Njokuani can catch him with the knee. I think he can keep him at range with the kicks, with that tape kick Njokuani has, with the low kicks as well. I think he can do that, and I think he can just like pick at Leal, and then as Leal tries to explode and tries to close distance, he can counter and make Leal pay. I think he can hurt him bad enough to finish him and end the fight. So yeah, I'm going with Njokuani here by a first round KO. Moving on to the first fight of the main card, we got Zachary Reese versus Mikel Pereira. I am going with Mikel Pereira here by a second round KO. I think just Pereira is just way more dangerous and way more well-rounded. Zachary Reese, he's tall for the division. He's got the reach advantage in this fight as well, but he's really all like kind of just he's all like kicks and clinch work. Reese he doesn't have much prowess in the hands, and I think Pereira, I think he can, and he also one thing, he doesn't have that crazy like cardio to really like put a pace on Pereira and make Pereira like and drown Pereira and make him like gas out. Oh, as the fight goes on. So I think it's gonna be like a sort of low output tit for tat kind of match on the feet, and I think Michel Pereira wins that every time. I think he's more explosive, faster, has a better understanding of more striking arts like the boxing and a good grasp on the kicks as well. And I think Reese is gonna be outmatched if he tries to like kick and trying to like poke and prod at Pereira. I think Pereira's gonna be able to blitz in, explode in, catch Reese on the chin, with like a right straight or like a 1-2 or whatever. Be at range, move, use lateral movement at range, and if Reese tries to tie him up and try and close distance when the clinch, I think Pereira has he has good knees in the clinch as well, and I think he can be quick to break off and separate as well. And Pereira also has sneaky submission skills as well. He has a couple wins by submission, so I think Pereira can use his speed and explosivity to stifle Reese at range as Reese tries to like kick and stuff. And I think Pereira can also land knees in the clinch when it goes there. And I think he can put Reese down with like a straight right hand or something like that. Hit him with a kill shot in round 2 and finish him up. So yeah, I'm going with Mikel Pereira here, second round KO. Moving on, we got Jacoby Smith versus this fucking dwarf right here. When I saw this initially, what was it, like yesterday or no? It was this morning. I was like, who is this fucking this little fucking gnome they got to fight fucking Jacoby Smith? And I was like, he's gonna get fucked up. So yeah, I'm going with Jacoby Smith by a first round KO. This guy fucking, what, Harold his name is, he's coming off 1 week, 2 week short notice. That is not enough to defeat Jacoby Smith. We all know Smith, he has fucking very good athleticism, very athletic, very fucking fast for the division. Great hand speed, great technique as well. He did gas out in that a little bit in that fucking Nico Price fight, but I don't think that's going to be much of an issue here. I think he can eventually stifle or find Harold here with his speed, stifle him with the explosivity and the power, and be able to put it on him and put him away in the first round. So yeah, it's tough shit for Josiah Harold over here, but yeah, it's what it is. Moving on, we got no, just not the feature fight. Oh, yeah, this should be the feature fight actually. No, this should be like, I think this should be the fucking the co-main over Jeff Neal and Uros Medic, to be honest with you. But we got we got Sergey Spivak, mate. When I fought him, he's a great fighter. He's an unbelievable fighter, with the grappling, but with the kicks and the punches, I think I got him here. I got him there, And then we got Sergey Spivak versus Ante Delija. And Antazin. It's good that. Antazin. It's good that. Antazin. Yep. It's good that. Nice that. It's good that. Yeah, I got Ante Delija here by what do I got him by? First round TKO. I think Delija can use his speed to stifle Spivak here. Spivak, he's more proactive in the grappling, and that's what I'm worried about with Delija being such a light heavyweight. No, not a light heavyweight. A fucking so light for heavyweight. That's what I meant to say. Delija being so light for heavyweight, I worry about the grappling exchanges, especially with the clinch, because that's a way guys have like sort of beat him and stalled him out, is just getting to the clinch, getting over unders, and just leaning on him against the cage. I'll worry about that, but I think D'Elia can use his speed and use his pressure to stifle Spivak, find him with the combos, just be faster than him in the octagon overall. And since he's not, I was gonna say he was training with Tom Aspinall, but I guess he's not anymore. So yeah, well, but I still think D'Elia wins just with the speed, with just being able to land like fast combinations on Spivak. Sort of makes Spivak like shell up and be timid against the cage, and just being able to put it on him with the combo. Almost like how he, like the first that eye poke sequence he had against Waldo Cortez Acosta, sort of like that, but like it's actually real, and D'Elia really like hurt Spivak and really is about to finish him. So I think he can just do that, speed blitz him pretty much in this fight here. Moving on, we got the featured fight of the night. We got Dan Ige versus Melquizael Acosta. I said Acosta. What the fuck? Melquizael Acosta. I'm going with that boy Melky. I'm going with Melky by a round 1 KO. I think Costa has a speed advantage over Ige, especially with the kicks. That's something Costa has really, really well. Is he has very fast kicks. They come up fast. They retract fast. They're just really nice in general, and I think he can use that on Ige, especially when Ige shows up with that high guard that he has, and especially with how timid Ige has become since training with Eric Nixick in that whole fucking gym. Ige, he has become sort of very timid and very like sort of just feinty and sort of sparry, and I think a guy like Costa can put it on him with the kicks, problem him with the kicks. He has a height advantage as well. Show something with the hands and to get Ige's like guard up, and then kick at him, throw a head kick at him with that high guard up, be able to hurt Ige with that, and then finish him off on the ground. And I think I think that's gonna happen here, and it's also open stance as well. Even more cadence to what I'm saying. I think Melquizael Costa is definitely gonna be the one in this fight to use that rear open stance kick on Ige here, and I think it's gonna bode well for him. Moving on, we got Jeff Neal versus Uros Medic. I'm going with Jeff Neal in this one. I know this might be crazy, but hear me out. I haven't checked the odds on any of these fights, so I don't know what the odds are on this fight. But if I imagine, I think Jeff Neal's an underdog here, and I'm gonna plead my case onto why Jeff Neal's gonna win this fight. I think first off, Ross Medic, he's good. He's very good kickboxing, but he gets hurt a lot. He gets dropped in pretty much every fucking fight that he has. He gets dropped. He's able to recover, but he gets dropped. And that Punahele Soriano loss has been screaming out to me every fucking when I was predicting and researching this fight. That loss to Soriano, where he just got speed blitz pretty much and just got put on his ass, that has been screaming out to me when I've researched this fight. And I think Jeff Neal can do something similar to Medic. Jeff Neal, he has good boxing. He has very linear movement, and Urach, he also moves linear as well. Sometimes he'll like step off a bit when he knows his back is getting to the cage. Sometimes he'll step off a bit, but he doesn't have like crazy like lateral movement like a guy like like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson had. That's how he defeated Jeff Neal, just moving laterally on him. That's how Carlos Prates got that KO. He was moving laterally the whole fight, making Jeff Neal just sort of like a bull in the matador, just making Jeff Neal run past him. And he set up that spinning elbow. And I think Uros Medic, he doesn't have the lateral footwork of those guys to really get away from the pressure and the linear movement of Jeff Neal. And Jeff Neal, he has good power in his hands as well. I think he can hurt Medic while Medic is backing up in a straight line. I see Neal eventually being able to just track him down, hurt him with like a left hand or something like that, and dropping a guy like Medic, who has been, like I said, who has been dropped a lot in his career, in his fights. But the thing about Neal is that worries me. He throws a lot of like same side attacks. Like he'll throw like 2 left hands in a row, or he'll throw like 3 rear uppercuts in a row when he has someone hurt or something like that. And I'm concerned about that. But I think overall Jeff Neal is going to be able to find a shot that hurts Medic and be able to finish him up with like some ground and pound, or just like a sort of sandy TKO or something like that. So yeah, I'm going with Neal here, and Medic is not gonna. I don't think Medic is gonna engage in the grappling to sort of alleviate the pressure of Neal. So yeah, I'm going with Jeff Neal here by round. Did I say round 1? Yeah, round 1 TKO. And that was the co-main event. Hilariously, moving on, we got the main event of the evening. We got Sean Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez. I am going with Anthony Hernandez in this one. Okay. Now, here's the motherfucking situation. All right. Both guys, we all know, both guys are cardio machines. Both guys have extreme cardio, five rounds for days. But Anthony Hernandez, right? He's able to land way more damaging shots than Strickland with his hands and elbows. His shots seem to hurt his opponents way more than anything Strickland throws. And I think that's going to be the key in this fight, is that both guys are going to be throwing output at each other, but Hernandez is going to be the one that's going to be able to cut open Strickland, going to be able to bruise Strickland more than Hernandez is bruised by Strickland. I think Hernandez is going to be able to bruise Strickland and just damage up the face of Strickland way more. One thing that worries me, though, is that Strickland, he does pressure more in this fight. He pressure more in his fights, and he pressures like more intelligently. Anthony Hernandez will kind of just like sit at in the center of the octagon, just kind of stand there in front of his guy, and then he'll like leg kick him and then try and shoot a takedown. Where Strickland, he has that signature, marching sort of stance that he does, where he feints the teep with the lead leg, and then he'll step with the other leg, and then he'll feint that leg and step with the other leg to sort of pressure you back and sort of just fill up the space whenever he steps. He'll make you back up with a feint and then fill up that space. That's something he does very well. And I see that being a concern in this fight, especially with Hernandez being KO'd to the body before. I think Strickland, the teeps of Strickland can be a major factor in this fight. But I see Anthony Hernandez being able to like shoot in on Strickland and try and attempt takedowns as Strickland tries to kick at him with the teeps. I see Hernandez being able to like catch a kick, or maybe just shoot on him while like Strickland is feinting, like bringing his knee up with the kick, or maybe just like as Strickland brings his knee up, he'll like initiate a clinch exchange. Hernandez, I see that being a thing in this fight, and I also see the mixing up of the striking and the wrestling that Hernandez does being a factor in this fight. Where Strickland, he kind of just he'll like just strike with you or just like grapple with you like he did with like Imavov, where he like just shot takedowns on Imavov, or he'll just like try and grapple with like Paulo Costa or some, or just try and strike with like Paulo Costa or Drakus or whatever. I see like the mixing up, the constant he'll strike with you, then shoot the takedown, strike with you, shoot the takedown, strike with you. I see that like style of Hernandez being a factor in this fight and being able to sort of catch Strickland off guard with like a striking exchange, or as Strickland thinks it's a striking exchange, Anthony Hernandez shoots in and gets a takedown on Strickland. And I think although Strickland's no slouch on the ground, not at all. We've seen it. Strickland has like proven his grappling. I think Anthony Hernandez implements his submission skills better in the octagon than Strickland does. We never really see Strickland like tie someone up with in a submission with like a choke or like an arm bar or something like that, or like a leg entanglement or something like that. I think Hernandez is gonna be better in those like sort of grappling jiu-jitsu situations than Strickland. And yeah, I see this fight being very high volume, very drawn out, a lot of back and forth, a lot of output from both guys. And I see Hernandez being able to edge out Strickland with the mixing and the wrestling, and also being able to damage Strickland more with like the cuts, with like the elbows, cutting open Strickland, and the hands as well, just land the more powerful shots. I think out of the two, I think Hernandez has just more power in the hands. He lands with more like impact, as well as having very good cardio on top of that. So yeah, I'm going with Anthony Hernandez. I'll say like a split decision. I think Hernandez can take over like in the later rounds with like some grappling. Maybe Strickland like is a bit too much in the early rounds. Sort of like puzzles Hernandez a bit with like his style and his defense and stuff like that. But I see as the fight goes on, I see Hernandez being able to figure that out and take him down, mix in the striking, eventually land on Strickland, and yeah, being able to edge him out in that way. So yeah, those are my predictions for this fight card. Like, once again, I got Anthony Hernandez by split decision. Fucking Jeff Neal by round 1 TKO. Melquizel Costa round 1 KO. Ante Delija round 1 TKO. Jacoby Smith round 1 KO. Mikael Pereira round 2 KO. Chidiana Jaquani round 1 KO. Alibi Adayas fucking unanimous decision. Alden Correa 3rd round TKO. Nora Corolla fucking unanimous decision. Ramiz Brahima round 2 submission. Jean-Paul Labozniani round 1 KO. Yadier Delvay round 2 submission, and Carly Giudice by round 2 TKO. So yeah, those are my picks. Bet the house on them as always, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Peace.